mean, entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, they figure out what they're passionate about and build businesses around their passion. What they understand, what that most entrepreneurs don't is when you do what you love what you do.
Yeah, yeah. It makes it all worth it. Is that the one of the 6 items you're talking about?
Yeah, that's one of the 6 items.
Okay, that's one.
So then they niche they laser focus on serving a niche target market that they can dominate, right? Because what ends up happening when you dominate a market, regardless of how small it is, it can literally be one client. Your name precedes you when you start to expand outside of that target market. Because everyone will have heard about you. So that's the second thing they do. Third thing they do is they form unconventional strategic alliance partnerships with people in 4 quadrants. So there's a concept called the value net. It was created by 2 professors, one from Harvard, one from Yale, that basically said if you want to increase your value proposition, form partnerships with your customers, your suppliers, your complementers.
Your ancillary business associates, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So that they do that. And they do that in order to flip the script on selling. Selling typically is what we call push selling. You have a product or service that you push on a marketplace. You get resistance from the marketplace because the marketplace doesn't understand whether you've taken the time to understand their pain point and find a solution that you market to solve their pain point versus you're just being compensated disproportionately, for selling a particular product or service. And that's why you're pushing it. So,
well, that has something to do with relationship building, right?
Yeah. So customers inherently don't trust salespeople, which is
when I talk to people, I don't sell.
Yeah.
They end up asking me, how much does this thing cost? Can I get it? And then I push it to the other meeting with my partner because she's the one that closes deals. Like I don't like sales at all. I'm more the face of the company and the kind of LinkedIn brand there, but but once they ask, I can open that door for them, and they won't ask unless they trust you.
Yeah. And what you want to do is, and the reason you form these strategic alliance partnerships with much larger companies in these 4 quadrants is they basically feed you pre-qualified leads.
Right. Conversion makes it much easier. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Fourth thing they do is they infuse world-class customer service into the service that they provide the customer base because you want to evangelize your customers, right?
Yeah. White glove service.
Right. So they start to market your brand for you, and basically they buy everything you sell.
So they'll be the brand ambassadors for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You monitor and measure what are called leading metrics, not lagging metrics. You already have to monitor lagging metrics because your accountants want to, they create financial statements for you based on lagging metrics, things that have happened in the past.
Oh, okay.
You have to file taxes to tell the IRS what you did in the past so that they know what you owe in taxes. But particularly when you're at a stage where let's say you're trying to raise capital and you're giving an investor projections. How do you know that you're actually going to meet or exceed those projections?
Well, most likely you're not. I mean, businesses don't do it.
They're guesses. But a way you can improve the probability of meeting or exceeding those projections is to measure and monitor leading metrics, the things that actually lead up to getting a sale, not the sale itself. A lagging metric.
So you can say like, I get 20 meetings, 5 of them, they actually want it, and that moves to an actual business meeting. Exactly. Out of those 5 business meetings, you have a 50% conversion on that, which equates to the initial work done. And so one thing that you said, have ancillary partners. What I have an ancillary partner, I hand that to her because she can close the deal. And where I do higher end deals, she has a strategy to do an intro deal that's very easy to consume. Right. And once they consume that, profile update or brand strategy or whatever it is that they need to get stabilized, they can wrap their head around that. And then once they have to wrap their head, it's like, oh, I'm ready to move on to
Right.
stage two. And then
Yeah.
that's where you kind of make your money. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then really the last thing they do is they surround themselves with an A team, right? To give them the highest probability of achieving the vision they have for their company. So the A team is, you might have co-founders, you have executive leaders, you've got managers, you've got staff, you've got business advisors, and you've got a board of directors. So all of these people, you need to bring the best and brightest to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And the analogy I give entrepreneurs is, if I take a mediocre idea, but give it to an A team, they'll figure out how to succeed.
Yeah.
If I give a great idea to a mediocre team, they'll find a way to fail.
Yeah, definitely. So those are the six things. What were they called? The six?
Well, it's just the six essential components that drive exponential business growth.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because to be honest, most people are mediocre. Like, not to be mean or anything like that, but most of them are kind of they're not. So when I was a little bit younger, I did a lot of stuff well,
right?
And I was surprised why other people got mad at me. So I have one little story where I was a creative director, and they told me to go to the other team, the government team. There's a government and a public team. The government team, and there was their developers, right? And I had to do a website, something somewhat simple, right?
Yeah.
And they told me it would take them 4 months, like 4 months with 8 people to do it. Wow. I said, or it was 7 months. I think there was something. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I said, but this is like a 5-week project.
Yeah,
How would it take 8 people to do? And they got mad at me, and they said, well, just do it yourself. They just booed me out.
Right.
I got that thing done in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Yeah.
And they never talked to me again.
Yeah.
So they weren't the A team. They're the team that like wants to keep their job and stuff like that. There's the ones that want to do things in a very slow pace. And so surrounding yourself with people that have the same drive and an equal amount of intelligence, maybe in a different area, is definitely that's got to be the hard part.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people that because I have a bunch of similar stories, right? So because I'm not I'm not someone to accept things the way they are.
Yeah.
I'm a disruptor. So I go into environments. If environments are orderly, I create chaos in order to change and make the environment better. But I walk in, no matter how good things are, I'm like, things can always be better. So I'm going to make it better, even though, and normally, I mean, this trait is not desirable in corporate America because
you cannot be an outlier. Corporate America, you have to be in your place, in your square. And if you do anything that disrupts the system, other people can't do it. So when you're an outlier for if this is the circle of business and you're out over here on the, I guess with the video, if you're over here, until it becomes normal, until you become the center of it, they just don't want to mess with you. You become problematic for them. So you could, so disruptors really, they destroy some businesses, but they create exponential growth. But the ones that destroy, they'll try to not allow you to get where you need to go.
They'll try to destroy you before you destroy the entity. But I always tell entrepreneurs that the traits that get you ostracized in corporate America are the same traits that will make you wildly successful as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's true. So telling the truth in corporate America is not good.
No.
You can't be honest. Versus being an entrepreneur and telling the truth allows you to get to your destination a lot faster.
Well, and being exceptional in corporate America is not good. Particularly if you by default make your peers look bad, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when everyone sees that you're smarter than them, you work harder, you have stronger work ethic, whatever. I mean, by comparison, they look bad. So what
Yeah, they
ends
want
up,
to fire you. They want to
yeah,
find a
yeah,
reason to get rid of
no,
you.
they'll
And
start to
you're just trying to
collude.
do the best job you can,
Yeah,
and they're just not liking that because their position and their income is challenged. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
they're
yeah. You put them at
it's
risk.
easy to be really good too. I mean, compared to like X amount of work, you
Right.
can. Most people do the bare minimum to keep the job,
Yeah,
and there's so much more room for improvement. And then once you're a high performer, you might as well go entrepreneur because you're not going to keep a job very
yeah.
long, right?
Hey, I can tell you it has probably happened more in AT&T than Xerox or Deloitte, but I mean, I remember, certain offices I worked in where people literally would like for like 5 minutes to five would sit there and just watch the clock because at 5 o'clock they were gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the corporate America, there's a lot of complication. I was a project manager at Cricket for a
yeah,
little bit, maybe I don't know 8 months. It wasn't too long, right? It's a contract gig, but this is when they were just getting started, and so they're hiring other project managers, and I had to help with the training of that.
yeah,
And they gave me 35 projects at one time to work on, like literally,
okay,
and I had to report to five different people.
yeah,
One person had to be email, one had to be a PowerPoint presentation, one had to be a spreadsheet. Person A couldn't know what person D knew. It was I'm like, what? And then you couldn't hire, and you couldn't fire.
right,
So the people who are working on the stuff, you could say, okay, can you give me a deadline for this and this?
mhm,
And they would blow you off. And
right,
I was wondering, how do people function in this environment without accountability? Because,
yeah,
as an entrepreneur, it's easier
yeah,
to
yeah,
get things done.
right, 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 right.
Definitely. Well, it's awesome hearing this. So this is actually makes a good bit of information to my audience. So thanks, thanks, Geoffrey. I'll kind of
Oh,
keep
no
on to call
problem.
you Joffrey.
Yeah, yeah. I'd answer if you did. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I've been called worse. You know.